If my body needs to cry, I will cry. If I'm angry, if I need to shout in a pillow, I will. When things happen in your reality, you need to express, you need to get that anger out. Let it get out of you so you don't become a pressure cooker. And then you bounce back and you're hopping timelines. Things do happen in my life too, but I bounce back very quickly. And the reason why is because it is taking me now since consciously 2005, 2006. I have been in this practice. Something will smack me in the face and would be really hard, or I don't have any sleep or whatever. And I bounce back and out of things very, very, very quickly. And it could be partly because of, the things in my life where I did like lose it all, but had such strong faith and persisted in trusting that the God, the source of everything that created me in God's image to create, was going to pull me through and that everything was going to be okay. And whatever is happening is literally a bridge to what I really want, what I really identified as being what my true end is. So not have any sleep, be a crying fool, but I go deep in and I let it go and I don't hold on to it. I don't stuff it down. And then I can be up here doing a video and I'm good to go. And I'm not faking it. I'm just like in trust. Even if it's right in the middle of something happening in my 3D, I'm going to do my best. I'm not perfect. And I do screw up too, but I'm going to do my best to realize what's happening. And I want to shift out of this, go into trust, go into my heart, go into forgiveness, go into unconditional love, remind myself of the end, let myself cry, open myself up to healing. If I need to go within and revise some sort of childhood thing that this is bringing up for me, or anything, it might not be even childhood. Someone I need to experience somebody apologizing to me, most likely. So I go in and I revise something. So I do all that very quickly. If my body needs to cry, I will cry. If I'm angry, if I need to shout in a pillow, I will. When things happen in your reality, you need to express, you need to get that anger out. Let it get out of you so you don't become a pressure cooker. And then you bounce back and you're hopping timelines. What's happening and why it's happening. And it actually becomes a good thing that you can almost in a weird way get excited about. Because if something went against you so hard that it hurts so bad, and you go deep and you just get all that stuff out and you go back into your trust, you can actually get into excitement now because you know, okay, awesome. So if that happened, then it must mean that this is happening. Because if I've been good and I've been focused and disciplined, it's literally impossible for me not to be in that reality. So if this is happening, this is a bridge and I'm going to let this go. And I know everybody in the community is like, the purge doesn't exist. That's a limiting belief. But I don't care what you label it. When the opposite comes up, it's a thing that people experience, obviously, or there wouldn't be like, this is just silly to even talk about this. Let it go, drop it. Don't worry about it, whether it's going to happen or not. If it does happen, deal with it. I don't remember what day it was. It may have been the week of my quote unquote vacation, which really sucked. It just did. I didn't things happened that I wasn't expecting to happen, and I didn't get the rest that I needed. So I'm going to do a do-over. But my mother, one day, she knew I hadn't slept really at all. And then I did a video and she was watching the video. She goes, honey, you wouldn't even know. She could see in person. She was like, wow, you really, like, I can tell you need to sleep. She said, but looking at the video, I would never know. And that's because, adrenaline is hitting me. And I'm also like shifted out of the pain body. I've released it. I've let it go. I've gone back into trust and I feel good. I legitimately feel good because I'm like letting the old stuff go. Letting the old stuff go. So I want to talk about hopping timelines, shifting states and realities, because when you are shifting, when things happen and you shift, you kind of go into pain body a little bit, but then you remember what's happening. You remember what's happening. So it's like, hold on. We have there are infinite realities happening all at once, right? You're the atom and the atom is in its superposition at the same time, literally. Like when it's unobserved, it's in multiple positions all at once. So we'll pretend that there's just four, right? But you're made up of these atoms and everything else is too. So if the red is your ideal and you get hit in the face with the orange, the yellow, or the green, so then don't shift and believe that this is it now, because now you're hopping into this timeline. You want to stay super clear that little remnants and residuals of this came up, but this is what I want. So I'm going to literally just drop all of everything else and only focus all my attention and energy on this. And then I might get a mix of this or that. But remember that this is always going to be existing. This is always going to be existing. So is this. So if you have your ideal life with you and your specific person, that you guys are in sync together, you've gotten past all the BS, like, I don't know, somehow, some way, and it's not up to you. This is up to God, not your job at all. Like, the whole point is just focus all your energy and attention on this. And then we were talking about reality frames. And I was saying how the other way to take this is, if you think about a movie, a film reel, I know you guys have heard this before, but you think on a film reel, there are frames. There are frames. And a film reel goes like this linear, like it's playing on the film reel, right? The movie is playing out on a film reel. But if you think of each individual frame like boom, 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 right? They're all connected, all of these frames. So if you're watching a slow, so I go like this, and you're watching me at on a film reel, you're watching me, but it's slow, it's in slow motion. You would see this, right? Boom. So you think that it's this slice of a frame connected to this slice of a frame, connected to this frame, connected to this frame. But in all actuality, none of these frames, when it comes to infinite realities, none of these frames are actually connected to each other. So in other words, you can just cut the reel of the film of the movie that you don't like, cut it, cut the film reel, let it go, discard it. It's not related to the present moment, the now, okay? That's another way to think about infinite realities. So before I get on with the next point I want to talk about with my client that just got a text from her SP after silence for a while. So my client, she's gone into digital marketing. So we were talking about the old story with her old version of herself, reality, old version of her specific person. She hadn't heard from him in a long time. This was, our session was yesterday. So I said, okay, listen, you need to realize that you've projected a story onto him. So think of it like this, because she's into digital marketing now. I use software as an example. And you know, I'm like a walking metaphor library for some reason. So the image that you have in your mind of your person, imagine a picture of his face. And you love him so much. He's so handsome. Now you're in the software, and in the software, you have layers. In design software, you have layers of things. So you take a layer, kind of a transparent layer, and you place it over the picture of your person's face. And in this layer, it's like a filter, but it's added distortion, and it's actually made him look very scary to you. Okay. So your person, the handsome person who you love so much, that is still there, but there's this filter that's made him look very scary to you. Like you don't trust being with him. But the reason you don't trust being with him, what you've projected onto him, has nothing actually to do with him. It has to do with old story of being abandoned, rejected, not being good enough, somehow being harmed from other people in your reality that you have projected onto him. So he's there and ready, wanting to be with you and wanting to love you, but you need to delete this filter, this layer that you have over him, so you can actually see the real him and get really clear about what's in your heart and soul. How do you feel into him? Because that's the real version of him. If I love somebody and I've given my all to them and I've given them my time, attention, and affection, I've literally given them everything. I've nurtured them. I've loved them. I've been there for them. And I've literally prioritized them. If they are seeing me with their baggage from their past, no matter what I say and do, it will literally never be enough. Does that make sense? And I know that's a very 3D way of saying it, but anyway, that's what I want to say. So delete the filter, wipe it all clean from your person. So this is what I said to her. And I said, go within and let go of like, see him for who he really is, put him over here and get clear on that. And then you might need to let your little energetic part of you that's projecting this stuff onto them, let that little part of you know. First of all, you don't have to be fully healed, by the way, to let yourself be with your person. You just got to turn to each other instead of this stuff. You just have to let yourself, like, you don't have to be fully healed to be in the relationship, but you just have to make sure that you feel safe. Because if you have this filter distorting your person, you're not going to feel safe. And if you don't feel safe, it's like this. There's a wall that you have up and your person's like this. Hey, I'm ready. And you're like, nope. And they're like, I'm ready when you are. I love you, but you're not letting me in because you're seeing them as being something that's going to hurt you. So why would you ever let anybody in your life if deep down you're afraid of them, but you're afraid of them because of this stuff from your past? Hopefully that makes sense. So anyway, when I gave her that example, it really hit her. And then this morning he texted her out of nowhere. When the opposite shows up, okay, it showed up. Get out of resistance of it already. Just get out of resistance of it. It showed up. It's the old assumption playing itself out. Go into forgiveness, go into unconditional love, get back in your end, decide who you are, decide who they are, what's your relationship like, what's your life, trust in God, surrender, detach, and let all of the crying out of your system. Don't stuff everything down. So just realize that. And then after you've gotten it out of all your system, you are going to be leveled up again and you're going to be fine. And then you're going to be shifting your state, which means you're going to be shifting realities again. And then you'll be back in the timeline of this instead of that. And just remember, they're all existing all at once. It's not like, okay, so if you have a situation with your person that you don't like, that reality is going to continue to exist. You're just not going to be in it or aware of it. You're going to only be aware of this one, okay? Anyway, I love you guys so much. I hope that this video was of some value. Have an amazing day, and I gotta sign off now. Bye.
Nothing can come, nothing can come, nothing can come between us.